Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the Simple Invest 360 Education Week. My name is Norman. I'm one of the product trainers here at BGL, and I'll be your host for today as we go through some of the unique and really cool reporting features that you have in Simple Invest. Now, before we get underway, we do have to go through a few little housekeeping things. And the first thing is everyone is on listen only mode. However, if you do have questions, and we do encourage questions throughout the session, please feel free to send that through by the Q&A panel in your Zoom application. I'm also joined by a couple of my colleagues that are going to be helping me out with monitoring and also answering the questions as we go. So if I can't find time throughout the presentation to answer questions, just be rest assured that someone is looking at them. But also at the end of the session, we'll open up for Q&A. So if you have any other questions about Simple Invest that you would like to send to us, please feel free to send that through. Also, the webinar is going to be recorded. And by signing up, you will also get a recording for the webinars. So we will be sending out the recordings more to the conclusion of the education week. So have a look out for that on your emails. Also, if you weren't aware, this week is the Simple Invest Education Week. We have been running webinars each day, covering various topics about Simple Invest, just to help you get an understanding of how Simple Invest works, but also for those existing Simple Invest users, how you can get the most out of your Simple Invest. It's not too late to sign up for the last topic that we have for tomorrow, which will cover Division 7A. So if you haven't done so, we'll post a link in the chat that will allow you to sign up for that course. And also, this week makes up a number of education weeks that we are running at BGL. We've just recently, last week, finished our Simple Fund Education Week. All the webinar recordings for that week is currently on our YouTube channel. And next week, we'll be running the CAS 360 Education Week. So if you're perhaps interested to see what CAS looks like and what it does, if you're interested in a corporate compliance software, or perhaps you are already using CAS 360 and want to learn more about it, registration for the courses this week and for the other courses for the other weeks are free. So definitely do sign up and tag along. Also, with the registrations, regardless of whether or not you're able to attend the live session, simply by registering, that'll ensure that you'll be on the list to receive all the webinar recordings. So it doesn't hurt to sign up for that. So let's get into the content itself. Today, we're talking about some of the unique and cool reporting features that you have in Simple Invest. And a few of the things that we'll be talking about is not only just the report screen, but we're going to talk about these big features, which are the smart report screen, which gives you interactive reports on screen. Some of the features around cash flow reporting and cash flow analytics. We've recently built in a cash flow analytics screen and reporting screen, which actually gives you a bit more insight in terms of your entities and how they're performing. We'll also cover the consolidated reporting feature in the program. And that will allow you to compile different entities together and prepare those consolidated or group reports. So you'll be able to see performance across all those different entities combined together and how they're performing as a group. But also we'll finish off the session just covering the report screen briefly, but also bringing awareness to some of the reporting that Simple Invest does offer as well. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what you're in store for today. I'll flip over into the software itself and we'll begin by talking about the smart report screen. So here we're in the software itself. I'm already in one of our trusts that I'm managing within Simple Invest. Now to access your smart report screen from the bottom left-hand menu, we're heading to reports. and we'll go into smart reports. Now, this is our smart report screen. This report screen is essentially the evolution of what was our live report screen. A live report screen initially was a screen where you can view reports like the financial position, the operating statement, trial balance, general ledgers, and you can interact with them. So you can click into each account and see all the transactions that relate to that account. The smart reports also has that functionality, but it's the evolution of that screen where we've included more interactive elements, but also the introduction of AI analysis as well. So within our first screen, first tab is going to be the trial balance. And within this trial balance, as you can see, you've got all the different accounts that this entity is using. I can click into an account and it will give me all the transactions within that account that make up that amount. So let's see, I've got amounts for BHP. That's probably a better example there. And it'll give you kind of those transactions filtered there in your transaction screen. Also, within these screens, for a lot of them, especially with the trial balance on the right-hand side, you'll be able to view the general ledgers for that account. So if you didn't want to flip over to the transaction list, you can click on that button. It will give you a list of the transactions as per a general ledger. On the top of the screen, you've also got filters. So you can change within the financial year or the periods that you want to look at within this report. You can also customize the dates and also refresh if you just want to hit the refresh button on the screen without reloading it as well. On the right-hand side, you've got the ability to view a general ledger. So initially, by clicking on the general ledger button, you'll be able to see all the ledger transactions across all the accounts. But we've also given you the option to filter. So you can filter by the date periods, but also you can filter by the different type of accounts. A tip here is you can also tick accounts within the screen and click on General Ledger, and the General Ledger will automatically filter by those specific accounts. Also within this screen, we've implemented an integration with our document screen where you can attach documents to the different accounts. So simply by ticking, for example, BHP Group, you can click on Add Documents, and you can also attach documents here. And documents that are saved within here will also integrate with our document screen and save within there as well. Also, with a lot of these smart report screen, we have made it exportable. So you do have the option to export it into PDF, Word, or even, especially, more importantly, you can export it into Excel. Now, as you can see here, we've also got the different type of reports that you can produce. You've got the statement of financial position. You've also got the operating statement as well. And within especially the position and the operating statement, we've got the option to toggle between a detailed view and also a summary view. Now, with the statement of financial position and the operating statement, you can run comparison periods. So if you want to compare within 1 up until 4 financial periods, you can do so, and or had in all those different columns for those years that you can compare. Now, also within this screen, we've implemented an AI bot to also do an analysis. So what it will do is it will read the information within the screen that you're in and prepare a summary of how the entity has been performing. Now, that will be relative to how many comparison periods perhaps that you do select. So if you just select up to 4, then it can run an analysis across the 4 periods that you've selected. So I'll select one for now, just to show you this example. I'll click on AI analysis. And now the AI bot, something like a ChatGPT type, bot will give you a breakdown based on the information in screen, how the entity has been performing. But not only that, it will give you insights in terms of stats as well. So in terms of you got statistic growth, in terms of percentages, you'll be able to see that there. And also because I've selected a comparison period, it's also comparing across the different periods and how it's performing. So a few benefits that you get there from the AI analysis, and again, it's the first phase of us introducing AI into these screens. It's going to be able to identify how the entity is performing, trends that is able to identify from this as well. But it's also going to communicate it in maybe a more friendly way for people that aren't versed in accounting or don't really understand what a balance sheet is trying to communicate. So this is maybe a different way of communicating that information as well. So especially if you've got individuals that you're sending this information to, maybe this might be a better format for those individuals. Now, within this AI bot, you can actually communicate and also ask for different requests as well. So, for example, what I could do here is I could ask it to write this information as an email addressed to Andre. Right. For example, and Andre might be the trustee for this trust. Okay. And then it'll write down this email in this email format. And then you can essentially copy and paste that into your email um, and send it off to your client. Now we move on to the next tab, and the next tab is covering our statement of cash flows, but this is our cash flow reporting and cash flow analytics options. Now within Simple Invest, it will go through a reporting screen, just like the operating statement and statement of financial position. But we've also added a bit more, let's say, customizability into this screen as well. And we've got that in terms of cash flow labels. So here you've got your different headings in terms of operating activities, investment activities, financing activities as well. You've got your different categories. If you want to see what the breakdown of each category, you can click on um, the icon beside the amount, and that'll give you the different type of accounts or investments. So for example, if you've got CBA shares or BHP shares, it'll show you that amount there. You do have the ability to also add adjustments if you wish to. But also with the cash flow labels, that will allow you to customize where different um, fields or amounts appear within the cash flow statement. So if you want, for example, this income to appear under investment activities, you can do that with the cash flow labels. If I click on cash flow labels, that'll bring up the cash flow label screen. It will have all the accounts that will be included within the cash flow um, uh, statement. And here I can identify or tell the program, hey, this is part of operating activities or financing activities or investment activities. So you can flip between the different categories here. Also, you can go into the subcategories as well. So as you see here before, we've got distributions received. Under operating activities, I can actually define what type of income or perhaps expense that is included under that as well. On the right-hand side, I can include debits or credits or even both. So if I want the cash flow statement to only include the debits or only include the credits, I've got that option as well. You can also create your own custom labels. So within your custom labels under investment activities, for example, I can create a new label. You can call it whatever you like. And then that will allow you to select that label there. Okay, so if you want something else to be written down in the statement of cash flows, you've got that ability to do so. Okay, and it's easy to reverse that as well. Okay, so full customizability there. Now, I will mention with these labels, then they're only for the cash flow label screen. So this is to help you with how you want that to look and feel, and also how you want the information to be displayed as well. It's not going to have an effect on things like your tax labels and your other screens within the software as well. So this is just to really customize your statement of cash flow screen. Also, once you're happy with it, you've got the ability to generate report, and that'll export that into a PDF. Now, if you hover over your statement of cash flows, not only do you have the reporting screen, but you also have your analytics screen, and that'll give you more insight into the entities itself. So within this statement of cash flow analytics screen, you've got the ability to view the cash in, cash out performance. Okay, so you'll be able to see that there. You'll be able to see the cash flow from the investments across different types of investment securities that have been there. You've also got payments as well that you can add in here. And you've also got the ability to add in a minimum limit or a maximum limit as well for a bank account. Now, this is a feature that you can utilize to keep track of your different entities, because we understand that you're not only, for some of you, looking at one entity, but you're looking at multiple entities. So what you could do here is you could set a minimum and a maximum limit, maybe depending on the investment strategy that you have. So let's say 400,000 and 500,000. Now, if the bank balance does exceed or go under the minimum or maximum limit, you've got the ability to set up the program to send you a notification that that has happened. Now, with this notification, that integrates with our workflow screen. So if, for example, this entity, the bank account balance does go outside the limits, you'll get a notification in your workflow screen just to advise you, hey, this has happened with this particular entity. Now, finally, we've got the account view. And under your account view, you've got the ability to look at all the accounts, much like a trial balance, but everything's really in screen. So you'll be able to click on each account, look at all the transactions within that account, and you can even click on a transaction itself to view the transaction from the transaction screen. Again, just giving you more information and more things to really interact with to get a bit more out of the data in your Simple Invest. Okay, and that covers our smart reports. We'll move on to the next reporting feature screen, which is our consolidated reporting screen. This is giving you the ability to prepare reports, grouping a number of different entities together. You'll find this under reports on the left-hand side, and we're going into consolidated reporting. Now, here's your consolidated reporting screen. To create a new group, you're clicking on new group and you can select your entities from the menu below. You can also use the search to look up the entities that you want to group together, and you can give your entity a name. Now, here's one I've prepared earlier. Just a group. I've got a company, a trust, and also an individual in there, which are the different types of entities that Simple Invest does support. Just to show you that it does work across different types of entities. Now, in these screens here, you'll be able to view the different types of information. But within that, you've also got the ability to export all these reports into a PDF. So here we've got the front cover. You can edit the front cover as well, the text within there. Under your summary tab, you'll be able to see a breakdown of the balances across the entities. At the top here, you can filter by different financial years as well. You've got a performance tab, which takes you through all the investments across all the entities that you've got selected, and you'll be able to, at the end, get a portfolio balance as well, really to see how it is performing. You've got your asset allocation. Asset allocation will just give you a breakdown on where most of the investments are across the entire group itself. You've got tax to give you tax information across those entities. And finally, you've got financial, which give you a breakdown of the balances across the different type of financial categories. So whether that's assets, contributions, income expenses, other assets as well, you'll be able to see that there. Now, within each tab, you've also got the options to settings, depending on which one that you do. So you've got the ability to set up benchmarks, whether you want that to be viewed within the screens itself, the investment performance, for example, or you want to change how each of the assets are grouped together. Now, something that's not available just yet, but talking to the team, they're happy for me to really show you where we're going with the consolidated reporting screen in terms of the next phase. I'll flip over to our product developer site. So this is something that's in the works at the moment, and this is as part of our next phase of the consolidated reporting screen and the natural evolution of it, and that's introducing the reports tab. So again, this is not available yet. This is something that the team are working on, getting very close to uh, a wide release. But what it does is it gives you options for viewing consolidated reports. So at the moment, the first one they're working on is the operating statement. And naturally, after the operating statement, you have a whole range of other reports that will come up in afterwards. But this gives you the ability to view a consolidated operating statement across all the entities within that group. So you'll be able to see all the income, expenses, and so on and so forth. Also, a big request when we were developing these report screen was the ability for customization. So we've added the option to edit layout as well. So editing layouts will allow you to actually define which columns and which kind of categories that you show within this report. So do you want it to show things like the managed investments? Yes or no? You can show that as well. You can show the heading totals, and do you want to show the subheading totals as well? You can also add in your own custom headings to the screen. And you'll be able to see within this screen whether you tick it or not. You'll be able to see whether um, there is information or there's income that's related to one of those group entities there. If you look on the left-hand side, we've also added the ability to adjust headings and where they appear. So for example, I've added a new heading. If I want to, I can drag that over into whichever section I wanted to appear within that operating statement. And it moves it there. And hit the reset button in case I've changed something that someone doesn't like. So there, we can click on save and we can reorder everything and put it back as it is. And again, we'll have the option to generate this into an exportable PDF as well. Okay, so that's something that's coming in the works. Unfortunately, I can't give you a time frame from when that's available, but as a team, happy for me to share that with you. What's next? It hopefully shouldn't be too far away for you guys to get your hands on as well. Okay. Now, finally, I'd like to bring your attention to some of the reports that Simple Invest also offers to you. So with Simple Invest, I use Simple Invest for company reporting, individual reporting, but also trusts as well. And because we do reporting for those, we've also included reports across those different types of entities. So if we look at things like for discretionary trust, we've also included the ability to produce things like an annual tax statement and also beneficiary reports to give you a breakdown of all the beneficiaries. So with our annual tax statement, you'll be able to see, hey, the program does produce an annual tax statement in the same format where it gives you all the breakdown of the income with also the tax return labels as well, but it also gives you beneficiary reports. That gives you a breakdown of all those incomes across the different beneficiaries within the entity that you're working on. And we also do the same thing for our unit trust as well. We've got a whole range of unit holder reports, like the unit holding statements, letters, and the valuation reports, which gives you an idea of, hey, this is how many the balances for each unit holder. You'll be able to see that on those reports. You'll get letters that you can address to your clients, but also you've got a breakdown of the assets within each unit holding that you'll be able to view with these reports. And also, even with our companies, not only do you have a range of different investment reports available to you, but you've also got reports like the dividend statement, which produces a a dividend statement, as the name suggests, for your companies that you can then address to your clients or shareholders for those companies. Okay. So again, just bringing awareness that yes, Symbol Invest does support a wide range of different types of reports in the program, and that's just to name a few. If you weren't aware that Symbol Invest does do for you. So that comes to pretty much the end of today's session. Again, I'd like to thank you. Hopefully, there's something here today that you weren't aware of that Simple Invest does, and hopefully it gives you a bit more information of what it can do within the software itself.